AITA for selling my brother's car to pay the medical bills he promised to cover after I donated my kidney to him. This is a long story, but I need to get this off my chest because my entire family is calling me a vindictive asshole, and I'm starting to question if I went too far. My brother Jake, 32M, and I, 29M, have never had the best relationship. He's always been the golden child, star athlete in high school, full scholarship to college, successful career in finance. Meanwhile, I'm a mechanic who barely scraped through community college. Our parents have always made it clear who the favorite is. 2 years ago, Jake was diagnosed with kidney disease. The doctor said he'd need a transplant within the year or he'd be on dialysis indefinitely. Our parents immediately got tested to see if they could donate, but neither was a match. I got tested too, more out of obligation than anything else. Turns out, I was a perfect match. When Jake found out, he didn't ask me to donate, he demanded it. I'm talking full-on emotional manipulation. You're my only hope, I'll die without this. What kind of brother are you if you won't save my life? Our parents backed him up completely. Mom actually said, "What's the point of having 2 kidneys if you can't give one to your family?" Here's the thing, I was willing to do it. Despite our rocky relationship, he's still my brother. But I had concerns. I'm self-employed, no health insurance, and barely making ends meet as it is. The surgery would mean weeks off work, potential complications, and medical bills I couldn't afford. When I brought up these concerns, Jake got angry. "You're really going to haggle over money when I'm dying?" But then he made me an offer. He'd cover all my medical expenses, lost wages during recovery, and throw in an extra $10,000 for my sacrifice. He presented it like he was being generous, but honestly, it felt more like he was buying my kidney. Still, it solved my financial concerns, so I agreed. We even had a lawyer draw up a contract. Jake insisted on it, said he wanted everything official and above board. The contract stated that he would cover all medical costs related to the donation surgery, reimburse my lost income for up to 8 weeks, and pay me $10,000 within 30 days of successful surgery. The surgery went perfectly. Jake's new kidney took immediately, and within weeks, he was back to his normal life. Me? I had complications. The incision got infected, I developed chronic pain that required physical therapy, and I ended up needing 3 additional procedures over the next 6 months. Every time I asked Jake about covering these extra costs, he'd say, "That wasn't part of our original agreement." When I pointed out that the contract clearly stated all medical costs related to the donation, he claimed the additional procedures weren't related since they were complications. Meanwhile, Jake was posting on social media about his new lease on life, taking expensive vacations, and buying himself a brand new BMW M3, a $70,000 car. When I saw that Instagram post of him with his new ride, captioned "Celebrating life with my dream car," #blessed, #new beginnings, I lost it. I was drowning in medical debt. The extra procedures, medications, and ongoing physical therapy had cost me over $45,000. I'd already burned through my savings and was considering bankruptcy. Jake knew this because I called him crying multiple times, begging him to help with just the biggest bills. His response? "I fulfill my contract obligations. The rest is your problem." That's when I remembered something. When Jake bought his house 5 years ago, he was short on the down payment. I co-signed his car loan to help free up cash for him. The BMW? It was technically financed under both our names because his credit had taken a hit during his medical issues, and he needed me to co-sign again. So legally, I was equally responsible for the car and equally entitled to it. Last month, I went to the dealership with all the paperwork and sold the BMW. Jake had only made 3 payments on it, so after paying off the loan, I was left with about $52,000. I used it to pay off my medical bills and kept the remainder. Jake found out when he came home to find his car missing. He called the police, but they told him it was a civil matter since I was legally authorized to sell it. That's when my phone started ringing. Jake was screaming about how I'd stolen his car, how I was destroying his life, how he needed that car for work. Our parents called me every name in the book. Mom said I was worse than a thief because at least thieves don't steal from family. Dad threatened to disown me. But here's what really gets me. Jake told our extended family that I sold his car over some petty argument about money. He didn't mention the kidney donation, the broken promises, or the crushing debt he left me with. So now I look like the crazy brother who stole a car over nothing. The worst part? My cousin texted me yesterday saying, "I heard about the car thing. I get that you're mad, but Jake literally gave you one of his kidneys. The least you could do is cut him some slack." I had to read that message 3 times before I realized Jake had been telling people he donated a kidney to me. He's literally reversed our entire story to make himself look like the victim. When I confronted him about this lie, he said, "Does it really matter who gave what to whom? The point is we're both alive and healthy now." When I press him on it, he claimed he misspoke, but has made no effort to correct the story with our family. I'm starting to doubt myself here. Yes, I took his car without telling him, but legally I had every right to do it. Yes, the timing looks bad since he just recovered from major surgery, but he was healthy enough to buy a luxury car and go on vacation. My girlfriend thinks I did the right thing. She's been watching me struggle with debt and depression for months, while Jake flaunted his recovery on social media. But my best friend says I should have tried legal action first instead of stooping to his level. The thing is, I looked into legal action. The lawyer said while I had a case, it could take years and cost more in legal fees than I'd likely recover. Meanwhile, the medical debt was destroying my credit and my mental health. Jake has now hired a lawyer and is threatening to sue me for the car's value. But his lawyer apparently told him the same thing mine told me. Since I was a legal co-owner, the case isn't as clear-cut as he thought. Still, he's dragging this out, probably hoping to bleed me dry with legal fees. Our parents want me to do the right thing and give Jake the money from the car sale. Mom said, "He saved your life by accepting that kidney donation, and this is how you repay him." Yes, she actually said he saved MY life by accepting MY kidney. The family pressure is intense. My uncle called to tell me I'm bringing shame on the family name. My grandmother, who I've always been close to, won't even take my calls. Jake's friends have been posting vague social media statuses about fake family and betrayal, and I know they're about me. But you know what? I'm sleeping better than I have in months. For the first time since the surgery, I'm not lying awake at 3 a.m. worrying about how I'm going to pay my bills. I'm not avoiding phone calls from debt collectors. I'm not rationing my pain medication because I can't afford refills. Jake, meanwhile, has had to take public transportation to work for the first time in his adult life. Our mom actually called me crying, saying it was humiliating for him to be seen on the bus. When I pointed out that millions of people take public transport every day without it being a tragedy, she hung up on me. The irony isn't lost on me. Jake spent months telling me that family should sacrifice for family, that money doesn't matter when someone's life is at stake, that I was being selfish for worrying about financial consequences. But the moment his luxury car disappears, suddenly I'm the villain for prioritizing money over family relationships. I've tried to reach out to him multiple times to have an actual conversation about this. I even offered to work out a payment plan to give him some of the money back if he'd acknowledge what really happened and stop lying to our family about who donated to whom. He refuses to even speak to me unless I return his money immediately and apologize publicly. My therapist says I need to prepare for the possibility that this has permanently damaged my relationships with my family. She thinks Jake's reaction shows he never really saw me as an equal, just as someone whose resources he was entitled to. The kidney donation, the co-signing, the financial support, he saw all of it as things he deserved from me, not gifts or sacrifices. Looking back, I can see the pattern. When we were kids, if I had something he wanted, our parents would make me share. If he broke something of mine, it was just an accident. When he got his first car at 16, I had to give him my after-school job money to help with insurance because family helps family. But when I needed help with college costs, suddenly it was important for me to learn independence. I donated my kidney because I thought it would finally prove I was a good brother, that I cared about him despite our history. Instead, it just gave him another opportunity to take advantage of me. So Reddit, AITA? Should I have found another way to handle this? Am I a vindictive asshole for selling the car? Or was I just protecting myself from someone who clearly saw me as a resource to exploit?